It's another beautiful day in Zamunda, and thank God it's Friday. I know I'm not the only one feeling like that, but check it. I know it's been an awfully long time since I actually did an episode for the True series. Life got busy, had some unexpected changes that happened, but it was changes for the better. Because when God wants you to move, he or she or it makes it extremely uncomfortable. Um, but yeah, just a quick recap. Um, Changes in job situations has worked out for the better. Um, I'll be graduating from school come March with my bachelor's in cybersecurity. I celebrated my 43rd birthday in May in Salem. Definitely a place I would recommend to check it out. I had my first major art show in New York back in May. As you can see, May was a busy month. It was a busy month, and that went fantastic. And then 3 weeks later, after my birthday, I went and celebrated my great and wonderful girlfriend, her birthday in Aruba, and that was amazing. But since then, just been doing what it do, art, writing, video blogging, getting writing my trying to write my books, especially my part two to my first book, which is Life, Love, God, and all the other bullshit, which you can find. You can actually, it's Googleable. You can pull it up. It's definitely something to have in your home because it does help you with life on the daily, especially with everything that's going on. Right now. So right now it's just family, focusing on school, my health, just everything, and just being the higher vibration of myself. But check it. As I got up this morning, I felt very relaxed, very relieved. I felt like a lot of weight was off, and I just feel good, and I just want to share this good energy and sprinkle it on. Here you go. Especially if you had a rough week, just sending out the good energy per usual. And you gotta love when God provides you with the clarity that you didn't know that you needed. That's one thing about God. God is amazing in every sense of the word, and the love that God gives to me and I give back. God is forever the real MVP. Let me just put it to you like that. But I had this thought come across my mind as I was feeding my cats. And it was basically talking about ego. And it said, like, what I kept hearing is that you do not ever want to interrupt someone going through an ego death. Ego death, ego death is different. Like I said before, it's different for everybody. Like, everybody's on their own spiritual journey, not journeys, singular, not plural. And the death of that part of the untamed ego, really, you've really got to separate yourself, from that. That's the most healthiest thing and the most protective thing that you can do for yourself, because you don't ever know what's going to come out of that person. So it's like, if you love that person, if you care for that person, if you want betterment for that person, if you're at a heightened level in your spirituality, you will know when you say, you know what, they're going through something that I cannot help them with. I'm going to separate myself. And a lot of people will take that as if you love me, you won't leave me, which I think that is just crazy, because love just doesn't work in that capacity. You can still love somebody and choose not to be with them, because you're choosing yourself. You're choosing to love yourself, honor yourself, and you know your worth. A lot of times people go through their own internal battles wanting company. It don't work like that, because it just adds to the noise. And God needs to put you in some type of isolation for you to get to your next elevation. And that's something that I've seen, I've read, and whatnot. But you don't know the power behind that phrase until you get to that point when you're ready to make a change. Because a lot of times, and most of the time, what holds people back is their fear. And sometimes people's fear has a choke on them so bad that they will stay loyal to a situation that died many, many moons ago. There's no resuscitating that. Let it go. You can't grab for the new while holding on to the past. Like I said, don't be a slave to your loyalty. Remember to be loyal to yourself first. People going to talk. That's all they can do. Just talk. They can't do shit. People are going to talk. Let them talk. Nobody knows what your internal struggles are but you. But if you have a very close circle that uplifts you, speaks life into you, those are your people that's going to help you get through your transition into the person that you are becoming. So this in between that you may be in, I'm in it, but there's levels to it. And those levels need to be respected. And you need to go through those levels alone. You'll be in a much better place because then you can hear God a lot clearer. Yeah, you'll be able to hear God a lot clearer when you mute out the noise, the unnecessary distractions. And it's so important. And it's something that I've said to my mom, that when it comes to ego, a little bit of ego isn't bad, but it's the untamed ego that puts people in a situation that only God can bring them out of. A hard head makes a soft ass. And sometimes people have to go and do the hard shit in order to really get the lesson and not to repeat it. Everybody are repeated offenders in some type of way when it comes to developing themselves in the level of the spirituality that they desire to be on. Sometimes people they get more into their spirituality when they're teenagers. Some people, get it, in between that and when they're older, or maybe when they reach old age. It's just like one of my favorite sayings is, God watches out for fools and babies. But if you take that step a little further, and I've said this before in a previous video a long time ago, that sometimes a fool don't always look like a fool and a baby don't always look like a baby. There could be somebody that's 80 years old but has the spirituality mentality of a baby, and vice versa. Put a pin in that and chew on that for a little bit. But when it comes to that damn ego, it is not your damn amigo. And it will actually hold you back and set you back years. And things that were supposed to come into your life to bless you will be on hold. So ask yourself this. What obstacle is in front of me that is holding back my abundance from coming through? That's a question that I ask myself. Because then once you go ahead and you address that obstacle, it'll no longer be there. And then it gives you a new sense of becoming stronger, not just in a physical sense, but in a mental sense, in a spiritual sense, because that's what we need right now. But you know what? Have the day that you think you deserve, and do something for yourself today. Be good to yourself as well as to others. Love you. Bye.